Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 19 of the Live Your Jam podcast. I'm Ellen McGinnis, your host. And this episode is all about women, exercise, dancing, fun, and leadership. Leadership topic I'm really passionate about as well. So my guest today is a leader in every sense of the word. Today we're going to talk to my Dancercise leader. It's a class I've been taking for the last 6 months, but its history long precedes my attendance. My guest has been teaching it for 46 years. Let that sink in. Since the Rohnert Park Community Center opened its doors in May of 1979, my guest has been leading aerobic dance classes. That's over 45 years of showing up, moving bodies, building community. She teaches 5 days a week. And not only that, her civic record in Rohnert Park is extraordinary. So today we're going to discuss it all. I want to give a big warm welcome to Pam Stafford. Pam, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Ellen. I'm so happy
Yeah,
to be here.
thank you. I'm so happy to have you here and honored that you're taking your time out this way. Pam and I were commenting that we don't see each other in street clothes often. It's mostly our exercise clothes. So we gave each other some compliments.
Right.
So let's kick this off. Pam, you're a leader through and through, and your civic record, as I mentioned, is extraordinary. You've been a resident of Rohnert Park. Is it for 46 years? When did you
You
move
know
there?
what? This October, it's 50 years.
Wow. Okay. You've been a resident of Rohnert Park for 50 years. You were on the city council for 16 of those years.
Yes.
Pam was elected mayor not once, not twice, but 3 times, right?
Yes. I was mayor 3 times, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. So where does your drive to serve come from? What was there a moment early on that you thought, I want to be part of shaping this place? I mean, take us there.
Do you know, I started thinking about it, and I thought when I was in high school, I wanted to be the class president. I didn't want to be the student body president. And I think when I came to this community, I just automatically started getting involved with the city and the schools. And a friend of ours was going to run for city council. He had been the city manager in King City, and he decided to try out to be the city council person here. And he said, "Why don't you be my campaign manager?" And I'm like, "What do I know about that kind of thing?" And he said, "You'll figure it out." And he won. And it kind of went from there.
Right. So that was in terms of you running the campaign, which you did successfully, and
Yeah.
that was kind of your first entree into city
Into
government.
Rohnert Park, yeah. Into Rohnert Park and politics and yeah.
Wonderful. So what do you most, I mean, a lot happened I'm sure in 16 years, and you're also, the PTA and very active in the schools there, but what are you most proud of during your time on the council? What did you fight for that you're like, yes?
Do you know what? I think something that we did, and this was between 2008, 2010, the economy was horrible. All the cities were struggling, and we had to hire a new city manager because our city manager had become, he was a Coast Guard and he had gone active duty. So he resigned and we got a new city manager, and we picked somebody who probably forever wouldn't be our choice, but he was the right person at the right time. And he came, and we had to make some horrible cuts, and we had to do some things that nobody wanted to do. I hated making people lose jobs. It was just gut wrenching, but it got the city back on a track that made them sustainable. And we were one of the first ones in the county to actually do that. And then our next city manager, who guides the council, and hopefully you listen to what they suggest. You don't always have to because they have their ideas. But our next city manager was perfect to help us recover from that and make choices that we paid down debt, huge debt we paid down. And we made pockets of money to replace things like vehicles that before you just go, okay, we need a new fire truck. Well, we got to find it somewhere because we need a new fire truck. And we continued to do that, to put money, sock money away so that we had it when we needed it. And it just all seemed to work. But that's the best thing that I could think of that we did that made Rohnert Park sound and put it on a right path to be sustainable.
Right. Yeah, those are great examples. I think there's certain kind of leaders that when you're in a constriction mode and kind of have to, if something goes on in the market or something goes wrong in the economy, you've got to make those hard decisions. And then it sounds like you made a really good choice again in finding the right person to kind of build back, but in a conservative, kind of planful way to prevent that from happening
He
again.
was perfect. He was our last
Yeah.
city manager, and he was perfect. He understood the whole city because he had been city engineer, public works director, development services director. He'd done all the jobs, so he completely understood where you could do things and you couldn't do things. And
Right. And those are huge recruitments for a city manager role. It's a really important job. They've got all the people that on the city staff, and then also too, they are, they're beholden to the council and they need good relationships there too,
right,
right? And with the
right,
mayor, yeah, and the council
exactly.
members.
It's really that working together is really important.
Yeah. What did you like most about being mayor? Were you like, hey, I'm the mayor, you do what I say? I'm sure you
No,
weren't.
does that sound like me? I don't think
No,
so.
I'm like, that's not how you run Dancercise.
I always liked to cooperate with people. I liked people. I always got input from people. I never didn't have people walk up and talk to me and ask me things but I think as the mayor, I was just lucky to be the mayor and help guide our meetings and our agendas and that kind of thing. Now, you don't really have power as a mayor. You just lead the council meetings and you help direct agendas. If you're a council member, you can't ask for something to be put on the agenda. But if you're the mayor, you can actually say, I'd really like this to be on the agenda for us to talk about.
It's a game of influence, which I imagine you would be really good at because you're collaborative. I mean, are there similarities between that leadership and the leadership that you bring to Dancercise? Because everyone I've been going to Dancercise for 6 months, and Pam is so welcoming, and it's a lot of women. We're going to talk more about Dancercise because it's like my favorite thing, but there's a lot of women in that room that you're kind of having to corral, and there's lots of relationships, and sometimes on Monday morning people are doing their exercises but they're still talking to each other, and I'm like, and Pam's got to be like, okay everybody, so are there similarities in kind of your leadership style and Dancercise? And that is,
Probably. I probably
yeah.
learned from doing Dancercise to help me do city council because I was doing Dancercise before city council. So I think I learned working, well, I think I've probably all my life cooperated with people, but it taught me how to work collaboratively with people in my class and hopefully try to get the best out of them while they're there.
Yeah, you do a great job, definitely. And there's so many different types and ages in there, and things
Yeah,
like that. And you're always so welcoming. And you also keep us on track. So yeah,
I try. Sometimes it's
it's,
a little harder.
that's one of the things I love about it. I mean, for me, Dancercise has become it's a community of women, but it's one of those rare sheltered spaces that whatever is happening in the world outside, and there is a lot happening. When I
Right.
walk into that big gym, something shifts. It's like women moving their bodies together. It's joyful, it's purposeful, and it really feels like community in the truest sense of the word. I don't know everybody, but and I
Right.
also love that you don't have to be a dancer. You just have to be willing to move.
Yes, exactly. That's perfect.
So some of these women, like how many are in? I count like 60 coming on the morning
There's
class.
about 60 in the morning. There are
Yeah.
60 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of counted the rows, and I
Yeah.
think the age range is, I don't know, maybe 40 to 93.
Yeah, exactly.
I that was one of the things that touched me the most is there's all ages in there, and the older women are, it's just so inspiring. You know,
They inspire me. I'll tell you, when they're doing their ab work, I am floored that they can do. And they do the bicycles and they do all the things that we're doing, and they do them well. And it's amazing to me.
it
They've
is.
been
But
coming a
Pam,
long time.
I want to compliment you on your ab work because I'm like always watching you. I'm like, you must have abs of steel because you do. I mean, you're doing it 5 days a week, and our ab workouts they're significant. It's like we get a break after 2 weeks, and I come back. I'm like, oh, ow, So you do an amazing job. But some of these women have been coming for 40 years,
Yes.
maybe.
They have.
So
I
you
have one
started.
lady in my night class who's been coming since I started.
So that's 46 years.
Yeah, 47. It's 47 today. Actually,
Oh,
the
really?
community
On your
center
daughter's
opened.
birthday?
It's my daughter's birthday. She turned 1 the day I started doing this.
Oh, what I didn't know is that makes this even more special.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
community center actually had this grand opening May 5th, 1979.
Okay. Yeah, I had May 1979, but I know it was the fifth. How that's fortuitous that we picked this day.
Yeah.
So, what was that like? Did you have any idea how like big of a draw dancer size
Oh
was going to
no.
become? Yeah.
No. It, can I tell you how the story how it happened is
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
my husband and I lived in San Bruno. We moved from Southern California. We lived in San Bruno because he was working in San Francisco. And I was going to an exercise class at the YMCA in San Mateo. And it was like a exercise and then you went out and jogged. We went and jogged 3 miles every day. This new thing called aerobic dancing was happening. And the Y decided they wanted to offer it. And tells you how long ago it was. You had to be this right height and weight to
Oh
teach it.
my.
So they kind of looked around the class and said, "Oh yeah, she works." I fit the description. But even that, when you went to the training, they measured you and weighed you before you could be in the class to learn. So I started it and I was doing that for a little bit. I learned it and then I was doing it. And then we wanted to buy a house. We couldn't afford it down there. So we moved to Rohnert Park. So I came here and I was taking a class from, there was a teacher. We didn't have this community center yet. So I went over to Burton Avenue and she did it through the rec department, Linda Shorey. And she was teaching a class that was basically floor exercises. And then she knew I had taught before. So she was going on vacation. And she said, "Why don't you teach what you do while I'm gone?" And I went, "Really? I mean, I can." She said, "Yeah, why don't you do that?" So I did it while she was gone. And people liked it. And so she was very encouraging and said, "Well, why don't you go offer it at the community center at the time it was recreation department because we didn't have a community center." And so my timing just happened to be when the community center opened. And so I went and I offered one class like 2 days a week in the morning. And then it grew pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
It grew
it's
quick.
offered 6 days a week.
It's 6 days
Really.
a week. And
Yeah.
then after I'd done it a couple of years, I recruited somebody from my class to teach with me. Her name was Mickey. And she taught with me for a long time. And then she decided she didn't want to do it anymore. And then I got somebody else, Chris. And then she moved away. And then I got Stephanie. And then I've had Amanda for like, I think it's been at least 13 or 14 years.
Yeah, I
Amanda's,
think it's 13 or 14 because I originally approached Amanda, who is amazing, by the way, as well, Pam's partner, teacher partner, about this idea. I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about this. And she's, oh, this is Pam. She was so generous. This is all Pam. Pam's been doing this forever. And so I was like, okay, no, I got it. I'm like, and then I started researching you and I'm like, oh my gosh, Pam is, I think, yeah, so yeah, Amanda's great as well. So
she is.
what's
She's fun to
kept
work
you?
with.
She is fun. And like when she said 13 years, she's like, I've just been doing this 13 years. I'm like, I think that's a long time. And she's like,
It
oh, Pam's
is.
46. So 46 years that's extraordinary. Where does the dedication come from?
You know what? You were talking about it earlier. The people in the class, they inspire me too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I have fun doing it. I don't ever, rarely, occasionally, once in a while at night, it's like, but
Yeah.
mostly I never feel like, oh, I just am so too tired to do this or I don't want to do this. I've always just enjoyed the people. And there's so many nice people in
Yeah.
the classes. I mean,
Hmm.
and they're so kind and welcoming to everybody. And it makes me happy to see them go welcome a new person. And I'm just like, oh, this is great. They're being so nice to this new person. And
It's very nice. Like one of the things that touched me is like I missed in the beginning. I had to travel or something, and like my little corner, where I kind of work out. It was like, where were you? And I was like, oh my gosh, they noticed I was gone.
yeah,
And you've even done that. It's not overly so. It's so appropriately kind, and I feel so welcome. So
well,
it's a very good vibe.
I really don't want people to like, if they're going to miss a class, I don't want it to be because I can't do this or I don't feel comfortable or so that's why I like to make sure people, even of course I do it with people that have been coming forever. Where were you on Wednesday?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
And a lot of times I get texts and emails from people saying, "Well, I'm not going to be there tomorrow because
yeah. I
This
did
is
that to
what's
you.
happening. Yeah, I know. And I love that. I
Yeah,
love
I
that
did.
I get that. And that I know where people are because it makes me not, or I worry a little bit, but wonder how come they're not there.
Yeah,
So, but it's just, people say, how can you like this so much? I said, because the people are amazing.
yeah.
They're all so different, but they're amazing.
Agreed. I think what we just have talked about is what differentiates it from being a community versus a class. You know, it's sort of, like I had to unexpectedly go away and sent you something. People are always inquiring, or I'm like, oh, okay, I know that, she went to Portugal for a week, or
Right.
she's helping her son. And there's
Right.
so many Barbaras around me that sometimes I
There
just say,
are,
Barbara,
you're
and then somebody
surrounded.
answers, you know.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of loyalty there and a lot of kindness. And for everybody, cards get passed around and people
Right.
sign cards and people go through illness. And it's, I don't, it gets me to my next question. So what do you think that dancercise gives women that they might not be able to name like for themselves?
I think some of them wouldn't exercise if they didn't do that. And I think it gives them an opportunity to do exercise how they can. And, like you said with the abs, I think they push themselves even though they'll start off and say, oh, this is too hard. But they push themselves and they do things I don't think they would normally do. But I also think you're right about the community part of it. It makes me feel like it's a community too. It feels good
Yeah, it
to
does. It's got a really sweet, sweet core. And the music is fun. One question I have, I know that you learned early on, through the dancer size, but I don't see dancer size around there anymore. Is it you and Amanda kind of choreographing everything on your own? Because everybody, we put their music, songs are played, we're taught music. Like we do an ab workout in the beginning. We do a bunch of things, abs and arms. And then we learn for over
uh-huh.
11 weeks, we learn a bunch of different songs and a full choreographed
Yeah.
number, if you will. And we learn it in pieces. And I am not a dancer. But the moves are enough that you can learn it and perform
Right.
them to certain degrees. Like there's the people in front of me that are all really good, like the ballet dancer.
Yeah,
And
that's
I got to give shout out to Lori and,
yeah.
and Brenda. And like, there's lots of really good people. These are just people in my sight. So that I kind of like, if I can't see Pam. But point is, are you and Amanda choreographing all of this?
At this point, yes. When I was trained, it was aerobic dancing is what it's called. And once I moved here, I made the name up.
Did you really?
Yeah. And then I just made
No
my
wonder when I Google it, I can't only find Roner Park. Like that's amazing.
and then I just started making up the dances. And it's evolved over the years. When I first started the Ab song, it was one song. And it's evolved to two songs because people can do more. And then we can get some of those stretches in that are really important too. And the legs and the arms, that was a part of aerobic dancing.
Yeah.
And the cool down. They didn't have a thing like a cool down. But
Yeah.
I learned over the years as I was doing things that if I didn't cool people down and make them stretch, they would just leave when the last song ended. And that wasn't good for them. So incorporated the cool down and then the stretch so that people did it and they didn't just leave. For all the other people I worked with, I just made it all up. And then
Oh
when
wow.
Amanda started, I was making it up. And then one time she said, well, how about if I do one? And I said,
Hmm.
see what happens. See if you come up with something. And so now we both collaborate on it.
Yeah. No, it's really well done. I enjoy it, and I want to talk more because well, actually, we can talk about that, like the mind body connection. And there's a lot out there on this, but the choreography makes us think. And I know when I'm learning a new dance routine, my brain I don't because I'm so lovely, Pam. I don't act out on it, but my brain gets cranky. It's like when you're learning something new, I can hear like I'm like, oh, I don't like this turn, and it's really because you can't do it. And then after one session or 1.5 sessions of doing it, I automatically go to, I love this. It's just a
Right.
fascinating process to watch how cranky the brain gets when it's learning something new. It can be exciting, but there's a real mental presence that is required in this class. So let's talk about the philosophy behind that and your intention.
The intention originally was just to get you moving. And then as over the years, I've had to add so many different songs and different types of songs. And part of it was to make your brain work differently. I know for a while my daughter was doing African dance. And so I incorporated some African dance or some of the stuff we've done, which is soca or different. We did Irish dance before. We did different things that I felt it would make people do things that they wouldn't normally do. And we still try to come up with some moves that your body isn't going to normally want to do that or doesn't
Yeah.
normally do it.
Right. You have to
Because
think
it's,
about it.
yeah, and because your body can do it. And the more you make your body move, and when your brain has to think, well, make itself work doing
Yeah.
this, it's so good for it. It's just so incredibly good for your brain. And I think I probably read something in class about how, they've shown that people who do this kind of thing, their brains stay so much sharper for so much longer. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's really, really amazing. I don't think I had that in mind when we started, but that's also evolved. It's all evolved. I've added more songs. We used to take breaks between songs. Okay, take a
Yeah.
break, get a glass of water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now let's
It's,
keep going. Let's go.
yeah. 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 That's changed, for sure. That's great. Yeah. No, it's a protective activity and it's good for mental health. Like sometimes we'll do, like the choreography changes, not just in terms of the step. It's like sometimes we'll do something 3 times and sometimes we'll do it two.
Yes.
And you have to remember. And
Right.
I'm like, oh, how does my feet go and where do my arms go? And so
Right.
it's a lot of fun. And I am I always say to myself, like, I'm good at the calisthenic part. I'm not so good at the dance part, but I don't care. It's so much fun
Yes.
to do that.
Doesn't
Uh,
matter.
no, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. And more importantly, it's fun. And I also too, I want to just give my heart rate gets up there. Like we're always checking our heart rate and mine gets up to, I'm a big hiker and I do a lot of cardio. And so, I get it up to 170 beats per minute, like when
Wow.
I'm exercising. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's good.
Right.
And you can make it as much as you want. I just want people to know I want to
Right.
give a plug out for Dancercise. So I want to talk about the pandemic because a lot of people, when I've asked in my kind of my corner of the gym, when I talk to my friends over there, have talked to me about the pandemic and that you guys kept it going. And I was in Europe all throughout the pandemic, and I was in a
Oh,
country where it
wow.
was much easier. We had a much easier go of it, much easier. But people in the U.S., specifically in California, when I hear them talk about the pandemic, I can still hear the trauma in their voices.
It was
But
horrible.
everybody around the dancer size has it's when they talk about the pandemic, it's like a source of pride. It's and joy. So, what did you do during the pandemic that people have such fond memories of Dancercise?
Well, I'll tell you, when it first happened, it was like, okay, shut down, you're done, no more. And Amanda and I got together and we made a little video that we sent out to everybody. And it was basically just to keep their abs and their legs and their arms going. And, we couldn't do too much, but we did do that. And people would say, oh, yeah, I'm doing this every day. And then after it didn't seem like it was that long. I said, why can't we go outside and do it? So I got a hold of the few people working at recreation because there weren't many people there. And we worked it out so that we were out in the back behind the sports center on the parking lot. And we put up barriers so that people couldn't drive around. And we just met out there every day, the morning class. The night class, we went over to G Park, which is also in Northern Arnold Park.
Okay.
We could turn the lights on the basketball court. And then we did it on the basketball court. And when it rained, because we did it for quite a while outside, we would go under the eaves at the Performing Arts Center. And when the morning class would be under the eaves at the Performing Arts Center and then under the Sports Center too. And I'd be kind of standing in the corner and they'd be lined down the aisles. And we just kept going. And it was like, it was almost our souls needed it. My
Yeah.
soul needed it. It
Hmm.
wasn't, I mean, the exercise was great, but people needed to see each other. They needed to see people. They wore masks. I had to especially at the beginning, I had to take temperatures of everybody before we
Wow.
started the class. And nobody ever did have a temperature of who came. But then we just would do it. And they were just, it was just like, oh God, we need this. We just need this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it worked.
So many people talk about it proudly, but I've heard the story about it's pouring down rain and you're underneath the eaves. So it's just a building, everyone, with a long eave that goes out with the performance. I think it's where Spreckles is or whatever.
Yes.
But right, and then everybody's under that, and it's literally pouring buckets of rain, and people are still doing dancercise all in a row.
You know who Joe is.
Yeah, yeah,
He took some one day of looking out, and the rain was just like
yeah,
somebody was standing there with a bucket just pouring it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we're just laughing and, look what
Yeah.
we're doing.
Joe's the one that actually told me the story about it. And also, I want to give a shout out to Joe because she offered to make me a birthday cake. I
Oh,
was sort of like, and everybody's like, she makes the best cakes, and she showed me her cakes, and I was like, oh my gosh,
yeah, she's
how
amazing.
kind. So I don't know if everybody, Joe's gonna make one for everyone, but she did offer for me.
She doesn't do it for her whole class. She doesn't, it's not an announcement. Tell me when your birthday is, and I'll make you a cake. But she
It's
does make a
so,
lot of cakes.
oh, they're beautiful
I
too.
know. They are. They're gorgeous.
So for women who've never tried it, and might be nervous, what would you say to them about, coming dancercise? I can vouch for is just the best. And I have a friend in Petaluma, and I'm like, you gotta come. I know it's a little bit of a haul, but you gotta come. But what would you say to somebody who's listening to this and might want to come but they're nervous? What would you say?
Well, I see somebody in the hallway looking and watching or
Yeah,
whatever. And then sometimes people will talk to me afterwards. And I always say, you don't have to be good at this. You just have to come. And once you come, you do what you can do and you do it how you can do it. It doesn't, I'm not going to, correct you if your arm isn't in the perfect place
yeah,
or you know, and I always say the only thing that's important is we're all moving in the same direction.
yeah,
But other than that, it doesn't matter what you're doing except that you're moving. Because
yeah,
what we're doing and the steps, even though we do design them to try to make your brain work too, or give you a challenge, the whole point is just move. We're just making you move. And I've had people come and go, well, I don't, like you just said, I don't dance. I'm not a good dancer, and I just say, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a dancer. You
yeah.
don't have to be like Zora, who stands, always perfectly, but you
That's the
can,
ballerina.
yes, it's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
part you're just
Women,
explaining.
I don't even know her name. I'm like, she's a ballerina. I can
Yeah.
tell.
You knew what I was talking about. Yeah. And you just move. And, some people do different kinds of things. And I don't care as long as
Yeah,
they're moving. You're getting
yeah,
your heart rate up. The whole purpose is to help your body. And that's all it matters. So I tell people that. And some people will try it and then they go, oh, yeah, I can do this. And some people try it and go, no, I can't do this. And it's, well, you tried. If you want to try again, just come and try again. But you
yeah,
don't have to do anything perfectly.
yeah. So my cousin I want to give a shout out to my cousin Kate, who introduced me to this class. I moved here from this island outside of Seattle, but I was in a transition, and when my clients were back here, and I wanted to come back to California, and I didn't know where to go because had been in the East Bay for 20 years, and whatever. So I had moved around a bit, and I wanted to come back. My cousin's in Katati, and when I was thinking about where I wanted to go, the hills were part of it, kind of the nature. And in Roner Park around here, we have so many wonderful state parks, and the hills are beautiful. And I think the pace is a little bit better here, at least for me. It's still
Yeah.
busy. It's California. Like, you're not going to really get around the
Not
fact
Bainbridge
that,
Island.
no, it's not. It's still busy. It's California, but it might be less busy than some of the other spots. So long and short is because he's like, talking about how much she loves it here, but the main thing on her list was dancercise. She's, you have to come to this class I go to. And I thought it was kind of funny. Not funny, but I was like, she really loves this class. And when I liked it, but then I was telling her all the things I liked about it. She's that, I love those things too. She's like, it's a community, it's a good sense of women. And, like some days you can you can have one spot, and then in other classes, they don't want you to be in that spot. And there's all this stuff going on, but they're all so nice, and it's true. It's all of it is true. She's like, but it's got so much heart, Cuzzy. And so it does have so much heart. So you created that, Pam.
You're gonna make me cry.
I know. I was thinking like, yeah, let's end on this. You've given this community 45 plus years of your energy, your music, your presence. What has this work given you?
Oh my gosh, it's given me so much. I mean, I've been so lucky to be able to do this kind of thing. And just family wise, it worked with my family because it wasn't a full-time job, but it made me happy, and I could still make some money to help the family, and I could still do my kids' things when they happen most of the time. I couldn't always, but a lot of times I could. And I know when my husband died, it was like, it kept me going.
I think a lot of women have said that. They're like, somebody's husband dies and they're there the next week because this is the thing that reconnects them
Yeah.
and is a great part of who they are. So, yeah, no, Dancercise is special, Pam. And your leadership is amazing. So, I mean, are
Thank
you
you.
going to lead anything else? Like any other plans? We could use a woman president. What do you think?
No, I'm not. I had people tell me, you should run for supervisor, you should run for, and it's like, no, I want to work in my own community. That's where I want to be. I had people a long time ago tell me when they used to have videos, Jane Fonda videos of exercise, and you should make a video, you could make money. I was like, hey, I'm not really interested in that. I like what I'm doing. I like how I'm doing it, and I
Yeah.
just liked what I had.
Well, you have a lot and you've created a lot. So I think, just keep doing what you're doing. And thank you so much for being on the podcast and sharing your
Absolutely.
story. And you have a lot to be proud of. And I look forward to seeing you 3 days a week. I don't like to miss Dancercise, everybody. So there's just
Well,
certain times I'm not available.
you said, people have been so nice around you. I've had people say, that new lady, Ellen's such a nice lady. We really like her.
Well, good. Thank you. I'll take
You
any
know?
compliments. I know it's all good. It feels good all around. So thank
Yes.
you for your
Okay.
time and your leadership,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
you're delightful. And happy birthday to your daughter, and it's 46 years today? Or
For the
45?
47.
40. Oh my God, I got that wrong.
Yeah.
47. Wow. Amazing. All right. Thank you,
All
Pam.
right. Thank you, Ellen.
Hi, everybody. I'm here with Priscilla. Welcome.
Thank
Priscilla, can you tell everybody your age and how long you've been coming to Dancercise?
I'll be 94 in June. I've been coming to Dancercise for over 40 years. I've been coming here after work, and now when I'm retired, I can do it in the daytime.
You can do it in the daytime,
Yes.
and you move really well. So why do you keep coming?
It's fun. The people here are so wonderful, and our instructor, Pam, makes it fun. And it's just like a family.
It's a nice community, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
Tell everybody what you did for work, because you and I have had this conversation. You worked for 40 years somewhere, right?
Yeah, I worked for Pepsi-Cola. I was office manager.
And now you're retired, right?
Yeah.
And you came at night when you worked at PepsiCo, and then now you've been coming during the day.
Yeah.
So Priscilla is right by me at Dancercise, and she moves very well, and you're inspiring.
Oh, thank you. It's enjoyable.
It is very enjoyable. Okay, everybody. Bye-bye from Ellen
Bye-bye.
and Priscilla. Thanks for listening to the Live Your Jam podcast. If today's episode sparked insight or inspiration, follow that thread. That's your inner wisdom speaking. Share this episode with a friend who'd vibe with it, and if you're moved to, leave a review so others can find their way here too. Remember, the dreams that stir within you aren't frivolous. They're instructions from your soul. You can listen on Spotify and Apple Podcast, or watch the video version on YouTube to see me and my amazing guests in action. Until next time, keep listening in and keep living your jam.